So let's talk a bit about equations and formula. So chemical equations must be balanced to make sure there are the same number of atoms of each element before and after the reaction. So the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen will make water, and we're going to use that as an example to explain how this works. So the unbalanced symbol equation for that reaction between hydrogen and oxygen to make water would be H2 plus O2 goes to H2O. Now the equation is unbalanced because there are two atoms of oxygen on the left-hand side of the equation, but only one oxygen atom on the right-hand side. So we need to do something to even that up. So we can increase the number of oxygen atoms on the right-hand side by adding another water molecule. So then we would have H2 plus O2 goes to 2H2O. So that balances the oxygen atoms on both sides, but the equation is still unbalanced as there are now more hydrogen atoms on the right-hand side than there are on the left side. So we need to do something else. So the final step is to add another hydrogen H2 molecule to the left-hand side. So we're left with 2H2 plus O2 goes to 2H2O, and now the equation is balanced. So remember, we're looking to balance equations. We need to make sure the number of atoms on the left equals the number of atoms on the right. And when we're balancing equations, an equation is balanced if there's the same number of atoms of each element on each side of the equation. So in the example of hydrogen and oxygen reacting to produce water, two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen react together to create two molecules of water. Now, molecular formula shows the actual amounts of atoms which make up a molecule. The empirical formula is something that shows the simplest ratio of atoms which make up a molecule. So if we look at an example, glucose has the chemical formula C6H12O6. And if we want to make the empirical formula, we're looking to change glucose into show its simplest ratio of atoms that make it up. So remember, we had C6H12O6. If we divide all those by 6, we're left with CH2O, and that's the simplest ratio of atoms in glucose. So the molecular formula shows the actual amount of atoms that make up a molecule. And equations are unbalanced when they do not have the same number of atoms on both sides of the equation. And remember, the molecular formula shows the actual amounts of atoms which make up a molecule. Now, the molecular formula of glucose, if we remember, is C6H12. And if we want to make the empirical formula of glucose, that's CH2O.